Welcome to episode 4 of our Kerbal Space Program career mode tutorial, where we're gonna get some more science. We don't have a specific learning goal this time around, but what we're gonna do is that we're gonna go our research and development tab here, and our goal here is that we want this engine. We want this engine because what we're gonna do is in our next video we are gonna learn about what we need to do to get ourselves a spaceship into orbit. And one of the things that make this a little easier is this engine. It's a liquid fuel engine that is half a ton, but what it does is that if we click here, we can see that it uses a lot less fuel than other engines. So we see that we're using about 1.6 liquid fuel per second, and about 1.9 liquid fuel per second to give us 60 kN of thrust. When we compare with the last engine in the series, we have this Reliant fuel engine, which uses a lot more fuel, 4 times more fuel. You get 4 times as much thrust, but it uses more fuel. So we want to be, this one's less thrust, but it's less efficient. I'm sorry, more efficient. And the idea here is that once we're in space, we don't really care about how much thrust we have. We have time on our side, and we can burn for 4 times as longer in order to perform the orbital maneuvers that we need to. So what we're going to do is that we're just going to outfit a spaceship, get it high, see if we can actually get it into orbit. So we have this here. We have our nice handy little pod already set up for us, and let's build us a ship. So we have the pod. What we're going to need is the science stuff. Oops. Well, let's get a parachute up top. Structural, no. The decoupler. We'll put the decoupler there. Let's get a heat shield first. And decoupler. Yeah, let us also put a service bay here. And the service bay is going to make our life a little easier, because in this service bay, oh, we don't have batteries yet. That's fantastic. Let us get rid of that, and we'll put our first fuel tank on here. Let's do a double. We'll need our engine. Put the Reliant on there. We'll put another coupler. And we'll attach the command and control pod right here. And this is the mech jet part. And you notice as soon as I put that here, we have got these extra windows. This is some vessel information, surface thrust to weight ratio, delta V stats, and delta V is how much change of velocity you can affect. Currently we have 1643 delta V, with our last stage being a thrust to weight ratio of 5.11. I believe the number to get into orbit is somewhere around 3500 delta V is what you need. So we're going to build our spaceship a little further. Let's see here. We have a solid fuel booster. Let's put there and see how that affects the stats. So we see here that we have 2.45. We got 3000 delta V here in vacuum. And what we're going to do is that we're going to get some winglets. Use symmetry. And alright. Okay, next up, let's get our science on here. Dun, dun, dun. Where are you? Oh, right over here. Let's put a thermometer on. Where do we put it? Thermometer here. Barometer there. I wonder if I can get away with putting 2 lagoos on here. That looks good. We'll see if that works out for us. And let's go to launch pad. Oh, and we forgot to name the ship. No matter. Well, let's take pressure readings if we have. See if we've done that yet. No, we haven't. Oh, totally forgot to get an antenna. So let's revert the flight back to the vehicle assembly. This spacecraft is going to be named Sigma after one of the original American spacecraft. And oops, let's get communications. Let's zoom in a little bit. And let's get this puppy on here. Sure. That looks like it'll work. Alright, so we see here that we've got an additional window here, information. We have apoapsis, which is our highest point that we'll reach. Periapsis, which is the lowest point we'll reach. Not really accurate right now, but we'll see it once we launch. And it tells us how long until we reach apoapsis, time to periapsis, and whatnot. Alright, let me check our staging. That looks good. We have a solid rocket booster, our main engine. Right. So let's log our temperature. I'm sorry, log our pressure. And our temperature. Do we have to... Let's observe the mystery goo. We've already done enough of that. I'm not going to log the point due science we're going to get. But SAS is on. Let's power down my throttle a little bit. Cool. And let's launch. We see here that our final highest altitude is rising as we move upwards. We have 30 seconds left. Oh, it's starting to tip over. Not great. Not great. So design is not good. So revert to the vehicle assembly. I'm gonna want to put these wings down here in the hope that it can stabilize a little more easily. Let's try this again. Let's grab the science. Transmit that. And launch again. Alright, so far we're doing pretty good. The craft is stable. And we're just letting it take up. The reason our thrust weight ratio is going up is because we are using fuel, and therefore the spacecraft is getting lighter and lighter. You can see that we are leaving the atmosphere. Our top altitude is going to be 25 and rising, which is fantastic. Let's separate that. We'll activate this engine. And this is going to be a little more challenging to control. Yep. Alright, now we've got this back under control. Let's point ourselves this way a little bit. We're doing a slow burn upwards. We'll observe the mystery goo. I'm going to keep this on experiment. Log the pressure data. I'm going to keep that. Log the temperature. I'm going to transmit the data. Cool. Yeah, we're out of electric charge, which is fine. We have a lot of science on board, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a crew report. Keep the crew report. And what we're going to try, so we click on the crew hatch, we'll move this over to the side here. We can try doing EVA, but the thing is that we cannot do EVAs until the astronaut complex is finished. So our top our apoapsis is at 87 kilometers. So we hit M here. We need to expand the map, and we can see here that this is our path. We're going to land in the ocean if we don't do anything. This is the point of apoapsis, our highest point, our furthest point away from Kerbal. And this green line says that we are currently in radio contact with Kerbal. So I'm going to fast forward time a little bit. Okay, and once we hit about 50,000 ish, 45, I'm going to separate the pod. And the reason why I waited to do that is because any higher, we leave junk in orbit, and that becomes annoying to deal with. So now we see that we are starting to re-enter orbit. And things are heating up. Thankfully, we thought about getting a heat shield, and we can see here. That is worked. We're about 11K above the planet. I'm okay with the jetting heat shield. And it kind of stays on because it got stuck there. I'm alright with that. It'll fall off a little later. And once we break about 4,000, I'm going to go ahead and deploy the parachute. Cool, so we have nothing more to do here. I'm going to speed up time a little bit. Yep, parachute has caught us. Heat sheet fell off the bottom. So the mystery now. Nope. And we've landed. Have we observed science from yet? Yeah, we have. So let's recover the craft and let's see how much science we got. Oh, not there, but here. 49.6 science total. We've gained 28.8 science. We've recovered 6 experiments. Got a whole bunch of parts. And no experience, but we have enough science. So next time, what we're going to do is that we are going to have all the tools we need to get us into orbit. And that will be an exciting lesson. Thanks for watching with us. If you've enjoyed this series or this video, please give us a like and subscribe. And also, always your positive comments and constructive criticism are welcome. Happy flying.